All right, so what do we take a look at like what we did last time? You can see here we have our robot. We built out a better system for opening and closing doors. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tackle some interior design, like how we can best make this room. And because this is essentially this first room is what we enter, and I guess this is a patio area. I almost turned it into like a foyer or something, but let's take a look at some interior design stuff. But first, I want you to download a program called PureRef. Let me show you where to get that. Okay, so if you go to pureref.com and you click on downloads, you'll be able to download a copy of PureRef. If you have a Windows machine, you can go to Install 64. If you have the money to buy it, go ahead and do it. It's such a great program. Otherwise, you can go to Custom Amount, enter 0 here, and then just download the program for free and use it, which I know is helpful if you're a college student. And what's nice about PureRef is you can copy and paste images from the internet right into here, and then you can use this as your guide or sort of your reference as you're modeling as it sits on top of your scene. So you can see here inside of Unity, I have this PureRef program sitting here, and I'm just moving it around with my right mouse button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my browser, and I'm going to just type in interior design living room. All right, so I just Googled interior design living room, and I'm just looking for ideas for something simple that we can model. Something like this would work. And we could even just kind of like model our room out like this and then spread it out. But as I go through, like this is a good example of a living room that we could use. I kind of like the idea of a big bookcase on the wall because the bookcases are very easy to model and they look cool. So let's just kind of go through this and see if we could find something simple yet elegant for our living room scene. This one looks like it fills up a lot of space. We've got these things. And you could also mix and match. You know, when we go into lighting it, it's often nice to have good reference because with good reference, you can pick out the lighting from there. It helps you to sort of, when we go to light our scene. And we're going to get into lighting in the next video. So this is very elegant. But I think overall, I might borrow this fireplace. So let's get PureRef up. I'm going to hit Control V, and I'm just going to scroll my wheel out. And if you left click, you can move these images around, and then you can scroll your wheel in. And if you hold your right mouse, it does that. And let's see. That looks like it opens up Wayfair. We don't really want that. This might be cool for the wall, but we want to make sure it all matches. Let's see. Kind of like that wainscoting that they have going on, that chair rail around the room. This looks kind of cool. All right, let's just kind of briefly pick a couple things and then we'll just run with it. I like this, and we could put a TV there. Okay, so I'm going to right click and copy this image, pop open PureRef. Now you can right click on PureRef, and then there's mode, and you can turn on always on top. And now when I click off of it, it always stays on my screen regardless. So what I'm going to do is find a combination between this and this. And so maybe my left wall will have these bookshelves. And then, so if we go back to our scene here, I've got a lot of space I need to take care of. So let's see, maybe we'll do such a weird space with this little nook here. And we also want to kind of build out like kind of a mystery or some sort of theme in our thing, whether it's like maybe the robot finds another robot that's broken down and he's trying to figure out who broke down the robot. So let's see. All right, so let's see if we can find our third person character, and we'll start to place that character somewhere. So here's starter assets, third person controller, character, model. Let's see. If we drag our armature in here, and I rotate it, and I just place it on the floor like this. So this kind of gives us a point of focus. Maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger. And it doesn't look like it has, let's see, does it have a material? No, it's just this. So we could probably, let's see if we add a component, if there's any default materials. All right, let's do this. Say that we have put a light up here, so game object light, and then we'll do a spotlight, and we'll just have it sort of sitting on top of this character here. Now with a spotlight, you can adjust the range, and that's how far the light goes. And I generally like it to pass through objects. And then you can also, by grabbing these handles, move the inner light out, or the outer one, like this. Now it seems like the intensity is way too low, or our sun is too bright. Oh, also it's not even on our robot, so that's probably another problem. So we'll figure out what kind of light fixture we want to put above this thing. So the second our character walks in, it'll draw attention to this character here. Now the range is going through the floor, so you can, again, just adjust the range here if you want. I'm going to hit F to focus. You could also maybe tint the light a little bit. Maybe give it a little bit of like some orange or something. All right, so let's talk about modeling our environment out. All right, so starting with this, and I'm just holding Alt and left clicking to pan in. We have a fireplace here, and there's a giant box behind it. So what we can do is go to Tools, then Pro Builder window, and then just dock it on the side here. And then just go to New Shape. And then on this wall, just drag out another box like this. And then to make this fireplace, it's actually a lot easier. You just want to break it down into the major components. So up top, we have the top of the fireplace piece, like this. And I'm going to hit W and just kind of shift it a little bit towards the center. Grab these two verts here, hit R, scale them out a little bit. And then to make the one that sits behind it, let's actually pull this face out just a little bit. I'm just going to hit Control D, hit R, just scale it out a little bit, and then shift it back. Let's hit F to focus so we can see it a little bit better. I'm going to hit R to scale both of these. So we get something like this. If you want to really get that shadow, you can grab this front face and just scale in. Scale that in just a little bit. Scale this one in too. And then what I generally do is I'll just make one side of this. So New Shape, Cube. And you don't have to, like, it looks like there's another one that sits below it. You could just extrude these faces down. I'm just going to sort of prototype this out like this. Something like this. And then Control D and just bring one over to this side. Now for this, which is pretty interesting, is I can actually just hit R, hold Shift, and I can just bring this down and grab these edges. Oops. Hold Shift and then just kind of, you can pretty much just hit backspace here. And there's like an indented fireplace. Let me join all these pieces together to make it easier. So we have all this, you know. So we're just kind of, again, building this out. And then I can just even really just, I have this whole movable fireplace piece I could move to other rooms too if I want. And actually, let's just get rid of this piece at the bottom here. So that's kind of a simple way. And you could definitely go crazier, make more boxes, make the circles and stuff. But right now, we're just sort of making a representational fireplace. So let's merge this together too. So let's take a look. Some of the other things going on here is let's go to this image here. Like, for example, this bookcase here. Say we want to put two bookcases in front of this. What I would start off doing is just making the frame of the bookcase. So same thing, new shape, cube, drag this out, bring this forward a little bit, select this face, hit R and hold shift. Oops. Hold shift and then just extrude that back and then hit backspace. And there's the walls of your bookcase. And you could always adjust where you want those pieces to be. Now for the actual like shelving, let's move this a little bit so it sits above the ground. What we can do is, you probably figured it out, is I'm just going to look at this pattern, but there's one across, three. So I just kind of make the bookshelf. Let me hit escape. I'm going to delete that. Give myself a little bit more room. Control D, Control D. And then to get something like this, looks like it's almost centered all the way down the center except for this top one. You really could just make a cube here against that back wall. Grab these verts and just bring it all the way down and butt this one up towards the bottom. And then to get these stacks of books, just kind of new shape, just create some books on top of each other. You really could just Control D this a couple times and rotate it. This could represent like a stack of books. You know, let's grab this, bring it down here. And then if you want to do like the vase or something, here's your cylinder, and then height cuts. We can keep it pretty simple. We don't have to get crazy. Just double click one edge, hit R to scale it. Something like this. You can add more cuts to smooth it out, or it's a little bit heavier on the top, you can just grab these verts and shift them up. And let's see how it looks in game. So there's our robot. We have these books on the wall and a fireplace. So for this assignment, I want you to go in and start to piece together or build out a room from a couple reference images. And what I'm thinking is for the next lesson, we'll create a particle effect. Maybe we'll really push this fireplace out and we'll create fire as the particle effect.